Let's talk live now, though, to our cricket editor at talkSPORT, Mr. John Norman. He is, as you might expect, at Lords for the second test in the Ashes series. It was the second over, I believe, as we were told by our man on the spot, Richard Tice. John's there to talk us through Jonny Bairstow's remarkable removal of the Just Stop Oil protester. I'm going to give him 10 out of 10 for that, and possibly a medal in the upcoming honours list. John, very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to you. I don't think Jonny Bairstow is going to be your plank of the week this week, is he?
He certainly isn't.
He's got previous, you know. You remember that prankster, Jarvo, who makes his way out onto the field of play on occasion?
Oh, yeah.
Jonny Bairstow gave him short shrift when he made his way out to the Oval last year. This was even more dramatic. Two Just Oil protesters, as was feared at the start of the season, actually. 2 tests ago, the World Test Championship final was taking place at the Oval. They actually prepared 2 different wickets, right, because, of course, if you get orange talcum powder on the wicket here in a cricket match, it does have a huge impact on the game itself. So only 1 wicket prepared at Lords, and the gasps from the stands as the 2 Just Oil protesters made their way out onto the ground. And essentially, the stewards were pretty quick to react. But it was the players that actually got involved. Jonny Bairstow picking one of them up. And as you can see on your screen...
We're just watching that now, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just walking him off the field. Jonny Bairstow then had to go off the field himself because he had orange paint all over his shirt.
Right. I mean, I said to Andrew Allison, who was here earlier, I mean, it's brilliant that he's done it, but, I mean, the risk here, of course, is that if he was doing something like that and he injured himself, that then has an impact on his ability to play or his ability to do things during the game. You know, but I have great sympathy for the security staff, but something surely has got to be done to make it more difficult for these characters to do what they've been doing.
Well, look, in the 80s, of course, we watched a lot of sport behind fences, didn't we? Certainly in football. Those days are behind us. I mean, I'm not sure what you do, because at the end of the day, then you get trapped behind them if something goes wrong behind you as well. So there's always going to be ways, isn't there, to get around the system. I'm
thinking something like a moat around the playing field. Which
crocodiles.
Put some crocodiles in it if you like, or even just some snapping turtles. You can get them a bit cheaper. But even just a moat which is difficult to cross, because at least it would slow them down. You'd be able to see them coming, as it were, because they've now done the rugby game, haven't they? The rugby league game, and they've also done. They've tried to do horse racing. They've tried to do the Grand National. Various different versions of them are all really the same people. It was suggested to me they might even try doing Wimbledon.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. I mean, they're going to get round it, aren't they? Whatever you do. I suppose it's not giving them the media coverage, maybe. Maybe the cameras...
but it's impossible.
It's a bit like,
it's impossible
when a
not
streaker...
to,
You know when a streaker runs on the pitch and the cameras pan away?
Yeah.
Because they don't want to encourage them. Essentially, maybe that's what's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to work anymore, because we now live in an age of social media, and if you are going to be a streaker and you're going to want to put yourself out on, you probably get more hits on Twitter than you would by anybody watching it on TV anyway. So I don't think that's an option. And also, we can look away if we want, but looking away isn't working. So taking them off the pitch by force, I think, is definitely the way forward.
Maybe you just need Jonny Bairstow at every sporting event up and down the country, and then you're going to be OK, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely right. So, I mean, are we expecting this to happen every single day then of the test at Lords? I mean, what are they going to say in the Lords security room right now? Because obviously any number of these people can get in. They can conceal their orange powder, I presume, pretty easily. They might not look like typical cricket fans, but who knows?
I'm not sure there's much you can do, and I would be surprised if we get through the rest of the summer without this happening again. What we know is it's a very well coordinated campaign that's carried out months in advance. So it would be of a surprise to me that the 2 people that were escorted from the ground are the only people here today with that kind of intention. It would be a surprise to me if we don't have this situation again. The only surprise is that they can afford the tickets to get in the first place.
Well, that's not surprising, because they're bankrolled by Dale Vince, apart from anything else. The Ecotricity bloke who's got more money than Croesus, and also by Aileen Getty, who happens to be the recipient of billions of dollars of oil money, ironically, in America, and they keep getting money. They keep giving money to them. So it's unbelievable. They've got plenty of money. Don't worry about that. I mean, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the debenture section.
Well, that may be so. I mean, Saudi Oil does sponsor ICC events, so maybe they should be targeting the ICC events rather than the Test matches, because I can't see any oil advertising around the perimeter fences here. They've gone for the wrong match.
Yeah, well, as ever, they've managed to get it massively wrong. Great to talk to you, John. What do you make about the cricket once the cricket gets back on? How's it looking so far? I know it's a bit early.
Familiar problems for England. They've just dropped Usman Khawaja. They did that in the first Test match, and he was player of the match. So history repeating itself.
Yes, well, we shall keep a very close eye on it. Richard Tice also there. Keep your eyes out for him. John Norman, talkSPORT's cricket editor. Constant updates, of course, on the Ashes as they go on. But absolutely ludicrous, is it not, that we're having to put up with these bozos every single time anything happens, apart from, of course, Glastonbury. They didn't disrupt that. In fact, they got all upset because Ed Millipede was told he couldn't share a stage with any of the Just Stop Oil people because it might give the wrong look to the Labour Party.